Man should not rule over man. Let knowledge rule again. The book of light, book of books, and savior of mankind. Aum.
It is hot and I am naked. And I'm just ready to comment certain points of this wonderful book 19. God's signature in nature and scripture. That may be so. But the book of light teaches, I don't care about number 19, I want to go beyond numbers. Book of light teaches you to go beyond numbers. If you are in the numerological order of something, then you are under its law. Your name and so forth, as it's explained here. But you see, this book, this wonderful book by Edip Yüksel, Rashad Khalifa is here in the back. They killed him because of what this wonderful man wrote. Well, that's life. Always in danger. If you contradict everything or anything, those who believed all the time and have no arguments against it, they will kill you. The Book of Light explains the numerological order of the appearance of gods and of the highest in manifestation until down to the smallest worm, insect. And all has a numerological order, yes. And the Book of Light explains also that number pi is not eternal, because it will disappear and shrink to zero when the universe sucks everything in it again. It will happen in about latest 150 billion years. That's the teaching of the Book of Light. But I have to, this inspired me very much. I already mentioned to you, this wonderful man here agrees with Descartes. I think, therefore I am. Well, right there I contradicted, or I was of another opinion. Descartes is wrong, I say. Book of Light teaches. Thinking is the worst that can happen to you. Thinking is the worst satanic demon that can happen to you unless you use it to detach you from thinking and to attain nirvana, the end of suffering. Now, let's see. It begins here, the book, with a brief history. The powerful evidence. Code 19 provides a powerful evidence for God's existence as expected, envisioned or demanded by some philosophers and scientists, such as Galileo Galilei, Isaac Newton, Gottfried Leibniz, David Hume, Paul Dirac. Well, they may have demanded that. The Book of Light teaches only whatever is a manifestation is caused by ignorance. And it shows the way back to the source. Why this book shows the way away from the source into the world to make the world better. There's no way to do it. Because whatever arises must pass away. And therefore you cannot stop that process by identifying yourself, for instance, with this body. Sooner or later you suffer. Now I say, look, I'm 76. No, I can't cut this. Yes, I'm 76. Yeah. 76. 76. Do I look like 76? No. But sooner or later the worms will eat that too, right? And the cause why I'm still being kept so young is because of the Mahachohan, who dictated to me the Book of Light, and who told me, whenever they send you a book or something and they claim something, just answer with the Book of Light and you will be always right. They cannot contradict it. When will you understand that you do not belong into this world, or in another world, or in a parallel universe, or in some Arupa or Rupa place, form of formless? You belong there where you came from, to nirvana, the end of suffering, the end of desire. Because whatever desire you may have for transient objects leads you to suffering, because the objects are transient, to be taken away from you, be it in a relationship, be it by accident, be it by whatever. A wonderful book. If God is 19 or 21st or 5, I do not care personally. The Book of Light leads you out of all numbers, of the law of numbers, and the Book of Light explains the correct numerological law of numbers until down to the smallest worm. Because numbers only appear when the beings appear. Listen, at the reawakening of the universe, the first being appears. There it is. And parts Mula Prakriti, or root matter, the root element, into 7 and 7 times 7 layers and so forth, to apply for the coming beings. And this is why Jesus said, in my Father's house are many mansions. I have prepared. But this is a transient existence. Be it in the highest heavens or in the lowest hells, you always experience a rising and passing away. And I tell you something. As long as you identify with that which arises and passes away, be it in the highest heavens, you will always suffer. And so this book is wonderful, but it lacks a little thing it lacks. The detachment from everything, even from number 19. Because the Book of Light teaches God is only the first appearance and manifestation, again and again. The rest appears after God. And it disappears before God, and God the less, and this is why the first will be the less. But by God we mean just the first being in leaving the source. That's what we mean. And its only work is to fall into matter, to impregnate Virgin Mary. This is the true meaning of the Bible. It's just a story for simple people who cannot understand, and the truth can be passed on by those who know. 3 are there: the source, all beings, and the matrix, root matter. Along that matrix, your present state of desire will be fulfilled. Thy will be done. You are under the law of karma and reincarnation. It's even in the Quran, if you read it properly, guided by the Book of Light. So, you say here, Code 19 provides a powerful evidence of for God's existence. Book of Light teaches you are God. And since you are not perfect, whatever you create, all that is your own creation, or you caused that, how you caused it, who assisted you doing this, whose karmic duty it was. This is all explained in the Book of Light. Nevertheless, if you desire existence in transient world, you always will die and reincarnate, and you will suffer over and over again. Now many people say, so then I reincarnate. Okay, I don't mind. You can come back until you explode, man. I don't care. I just have the duty, when the Mahachohan, to pass on the Book of Light that teaches there's a higher place than heaven. And that is where you came from, Nirvana, the source. Good. Now, let's see what this wonderful person, this wonderful man, Edip Yüksel, writes. God's signature in nature and scripture. See, look. Book of Light teaches God's signature is to fall into root matter and to part it in different levels. And that's about it. It's God's desire. And you fall into that trap, so to speak, and you manifest on the according levels, like somebody builds a big house and people move in from the lowest to the highest level, just as an example. Now we read here too. Code 19 was hidden in the 74th chapter of the Quran, the hidden, for 19 times 47 lunar years, 1406, and was discovered in 1946 by my colleague, Dr. Rashad Khalifa. He discovered the wrong thing. Because you don't know what the moon is. See, this is good intention, burdened by ignorance, no, not by ignorance, by things unknowing. If you don't understand what the moon is according to the Book of Light, you cannot speak of lunar years. When a planet dies, it projects its energy into a new center. Laya, black hole, call it what you want. Dark matter, whatever. New etheric matter is attracted around that center, and the beings from the dying planet move over to the new. And it undergoes here again evolution from etheric, what's the feinstofflich, transparent, down to material and up again to etheric and back to the source. So the dying planet will become the moon of the new planet. This is why the moon is older than Earth, and the moon is the mother of Earth. But you see, you cannot understand that unless you have the knowledge of the Book of Light. You use lunar years, and you don't know what the moon is. If you don't know what the moon is, you don't know what the lunar year is. And you don't understand why the Book of Light leads us back to 150 billion years at the reawakening of the universe out of the ever-to-be unknown. Because, you see, now, the source can never be known by knowledge. But knowledge can lead you to it so that you know that whatever you are aware of, you are not. See, you can never find yourself. This is another simple, the teaching that you can find yourself is the biggest scam in the entire universe. They live on Earth, billions of dollars they make with the scam of finding yourself. You cannot find yourself. You cannot be aware of yourself. Why? Because awareness goes from the one that is aware of to that which he is aware of. It's normal. So whatever you are aware of, we spoke about it in the last chapter, in the last video. Whatever you are aware of, you are not. Otherwise, you would not be aware of the arising and passing away. So whatever you achieve or are aware of as transient, you are not. That's the only thing you can say. The core cannot be found by understanding, but by letting go of what you are not, essentially. And most people, Christians, Muslims, and the rest, stop at the heaven of religion. It exists, but it's transient too. Chapter 3, because of the implications, it says here, in God number 19, of his discovery of the secret, as well as his strong criticism of the sectarian teaching based on Hadith and Sunnah. Rashad was declared a heretic, apostate by leading Sunni scholars from 38 countries who held an emergency conference in Saudi Arabia in 1989 to discuss the Rushdie controversy. You cannot understand Salman Rushdie unless you read the Book of Light. You cannot understand it. What this man meant. He was completely right. We are all in the pangs of Satan. Satan is the ruler of heaven, earth, and hell. And Rushdie explained it completely correct. Rushdie survived, said Rashad was assassinated by his masjid in January 1990 by Al-Qaeda or a terrorist group linked to it. He was on fatwa. Yeah, of course. You see, this again separates one from the other. Because it reveals to them, you belong here, but under our law. No, you don't belong here. You belong back to the source. In that knowledge we are all united, yes. The blood will split meters high. And the time will come for the Book of Light. Time is unimportant. Time is awareness of transiency. So what? If it's a million years, a billion years, who cares? Now, I read here. Code 19, which was also discovered in the original portions of the Old Testament by Judah ben Samuel in the 11th century. There is no original portion of the Old Testament unless you read the Book of Light. A Jesus was never crucified. Something hurts me. Yeah, I'm old. Something hurts me. Jesus was never crucified. You refer in your book to something as if Jesus really existed, as written in the Bible. No! He never existed as written in the Bible. It's just a symbol, an allegory. And the Book of Light and his branch scriptures reveal the truth about Jesus Christ, who lives right now as a master in... Okay, that's it. So you cannot refer to a Jesus story because then you assume he really existed like described in the Bible. No. Name me one person who saw Jesus alive while he allegedly lived. I'd pay you 100,000 euros. You can't. So, now, what else does it say? This wonderful, beautiful book. Oh, here, I underlined moment. The code suggests a Copernican revolution and theology of religions. Instead of Krishna-centered or Jesus-centered or Muhammad-centered religion, we turn again to the original center, to the God-centered model. That's what the Book of Light does. Divine message from a true God, I showed it to you. Nirvana is the source. You are God. You created yourself, aided by other powers. But the source where you belong, that is Nirvana, through God. That's by God, what I mean. Otherwise you mean a God of the Israelis or of the Bible, but that means penis. No? You want God to be a penis? Okay. Can be a penis. Code 19 showed us, it says here, that there is indeed a force, negative energy called Satan, which exerts hypnotic power over its constituents. Oh, of course. Those who decide not to use their God-given minds, if God gave us minds, they must be godlike. Why then can they rebel against Satan? To their full potentials are blinded by their master, then God is to blame, I say. They cannot see and appreciate the precise and obvious divine signs and their message. Then God is to blame. If a perfect God creates something, it must be perfect too. Don't come to me with free will, because free will makes it worse. An all-knowing God must have known how the creature would use free will. And then he sends his son to pay the price instead of being crucified himself. Don't insult God. So, let's go. This wonderful book, 19. The improbability and impossibility of the numerical structure of the Quran being produced by a medieval Arab genius becomes evident when we consider the following factors. And then it goes and goes. Listen. Sanskrit is taught in the Book of Light. It's the origin of all scriptures. And all scriptures will be united again by Sanskrit. That means even the name, when I take the name Edip Yüksel, you cannot find your numerological order unless you translate it to Sanskrit. Then you know. Everything else is assuming something. And when you say God is 19, signature and nature, and I say God's signature and nature is 1. God leaves the source, breaks into matter, into mula prakriti, into root matter, into the matrix, and causes the structure for the universe so that the beings that follow can establish themselves on their according levels of desire. Therefore I say God is 1. If he would be 19, he would be a bit too late. Is the sub-God? Good. Now he says something. Whether we like it or not, the creator of the universe decided to design creatures that could make independent decisions from the original program. No, that's not true. An all-knowing God would have known how their independent decisions would be. In advance, he would have known it. He would be responsible. Be crucified each day, nailed at the cross. Must be logic, no? God did nothing else than provide the levels of being for the creatures. That's right. He didn't create them. Elohim, plural, provided us with, it's all in the Book of Life. It's all in the Book of Life. With according sheaths, you could say. Astral, mental, emotional, and so forth. But it was according to our desire and combined with the karma to them. You are uncreated. You are anupapadaka, parentless. You decided to leave the source. You caused karmically, by karma and reincarnation, the actions and interaction with all other creatures that you may call gods or Elohim, or I don't care. But the true God is you. And only you can liberate yourself. Believe me, only you. So there is no creator of the universe that decided to design creatures. It's just that other beings came to us, to the monad, we call it monad, and provided us with clothes from transparent to more, according to our trishna, desire. So you are the result of your desire. Don't blame any God. And he cannot liberate you. Only the Book of Light can liberate you so that you know where you come from, where you are, and where you go. It says here, his powers. Why do you call God his? Does he have a penis? You fall into the same trap. The word God derived from Yod, which is the Hebrew letter, the symbol for penis, for male genital. So you give God a penis? Okay. God is more a woman than a man. We come from the cosmic womb, the cosmic egg, and so forth. And the stories about the cosmic egg and what that really is all explained in the Book of Light, and in the German books, and in the German translations, and in the English book. Now, it says here, he will later discard those programs that are infected with viruses. Well, if God created everything, he created the viruses too. It's almost like this fake corona thing that they put on us here. Code 19 is a virus detector. Well, then God was wrong. He's detecting now. You worship such a God? A God who demands to be worshipped belongs on a psychiatric couch, on a chair. You write here on 16, so what does this number mean? What does it mean? You say you may witness one of the great miracles. There are no miracles. There are no miracles. There are only things that are beyond our understanding. Yeah, well, no miracles. There are no miracles. Teaches the Book of Life. You will experience, it says here, the taste of eternal peace, love, and happiness starting in this life on this lowly planet. That's what you dream of. That's what you dream of. You cannot have real happiness in a transient world. Impossible. No way, Jose. There is happiness. Oh yeah, and the highest heaven. Listen, an orgasm on earth is nothing compared to the bliss and happiness in heavens. Sure. Yes. It has just a slight bad taste, namely the taste of transiency. And you cannot experience the taste of eternal peace. There is no eternal peace in heaven. I know what you mean. There's no eternal peace in heaven. Heaven has a beginning and an end. Eternal peace, love, and happiness. Starting on this lowly planet, the planet will disappear, as well as the heavens above. As an active peacemaker, says here, you will stand against falsehood, superstitions, hedonism, corruption, oppression, racism, nationalism, misogyny, intolerance, injustice, without fear and hesitation. Whenever you are in manifestation, you have all these problems. No doubt. Even in heaven. Listen, dear Edip Yüksel, where was the first war? On earth? It was in heaven. It was in heaven. In the bliss of heaven. All the angels. Maybe one angel was a little bit jealous of the other because the other had a better aura or shining or what, I don't know. But the first war was in heaven, not on earth. And I tell you something. Unless we return to the source, which is nirvana, we will always have duality and confrontation. Excuse me. So now I see here the author of this book challenges theologians, mathematicians, philosophers, thinkers, believers, agnostic and atheists, specifically the living Pope. Well, the living Pope is Satan personally. Is a pedophile thief. I mean, everybody knows that who has a little knowledge. Yeah? The Vatican is the home of Satan. He challenges all the Ayatollahs in Qum and other prominent scholars. Well, you should challenge, what's his name? Ayatollah Khomeini. He permits sex with babies. He wrote a book about it. I learned, or I heard you were a Shiite. I hope not anymore. You say to the Foundation Paranormal Challenge, there is no paranormal. There is no paranormality. It depends how you lower your awareness and call it normal. There's no paranormal. Right here next to me live beings of another universe, of a transient etheric universe. Some good ones, some bad ones, some may influence me, some not. The parallel universes live right next to us. And we are good advised, well advised, to not destroy our etheric shell that separates us from the good and the evil, so we can learn our own lessons. What is the lesson? You don't belong here. We do not belong here. You do not belong everywhere where you are aware of transiency. Solve the riddle. Now, you write, I invite the same mathematicians who rejected the Bible code to critically evaluate the merits of the Quranic assertion that the Quran itself is a numerically coded divine book, and the number 19 provides extraordinary evidence for its claims. So what? What do you mean by that? You use that knowledge, be it right or not, to invite people to be always reborn in this world and to achieve anything in the world. There's nothing to achieve in the world. The only thing that you can do is to understand the entire universe with the help of the Book of Light and then to detach from it. That's what you can do. Okay, let's see what it says. As for Arabic-speaking scientists, you're right, or more generally Muslim scientists, they may have extra impediments. The prejudices caused by Sunni and Shiite, well, Shiite, you know who they are, okay. fear of violence from religious zealots. Listen. This book is great knowledge, but it leads to further separation. When you come to the Book of Light and take all your knowledge and apply it by transforming it, then you do the right thing. And you say here, 19, God's signature in nature and scripture, examples, and you say the number of Arabic letters in the opening statement of the Quran, Bismi, Allahi, Al-Rahmani, Al-Rahim. And then you write the frequency of the first word, name, ism, or the frequency of the second word, which is God, Allah. But these are wrong, take the wrong vibrations. The origin of these words, when you say it, when you read it in Sanskrit, you know, Allah, and you look at the word, then the number value is revealed to you. But if you go from a copy, this is a copy. It's not the original. The original language is not Allah. It's not Arabic. It's not English. It's not German. It's Sanskrit. Ravista Gandarsheim. God created the world from nothingness and constructed everything with numbers. It's not true. When the beings leave the source, they fall into Mula Prakriti, into matrix, into root matter. They surround themselves with sheaths according to their state of awareness and desire. Then the others follow. Each atom is a God in the making. That you are God. And all these beings that surround your body, maybe, or that all the monads that cause your body, may pray to you. You are God to them. And there are some foundational teaching in the Book of Light. Man does not derive from ape, but ape derived from man. Everything derives on earth from man. Man was first on the etheric North Pole. Everything was first. Man was first genderless and then fell into duality. And of course we have here in your book where it says the women are attacked and stoned and this and that without the teaching how that happened. See, the more you identify yourself with the physical form, the more you are prone to do the worst crimes you can imagine. Arthur Schopenhauer. All truth passes through three stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third is accepted as self-evident. But he was right. But Schopenhauer was wrong too. He said the man is will. You are will. That was his misunderstanding. You are not your will. You have a will. Understand that too. You and your will. You can use it to leave the source and to come back a man or woman or whatever you want, although there is no reincarnation into the animal kingdom back. But anyway. Or you can use your will to detach from will. As I said in the beginning, you use your eyes to detach from seeing, to detach from the nose, to detach from smelling, the mouth to detach from talking. My talk leads to detaching from talk. In the soul breath meditation, you can let go of everything and you're still there. Try it, because you, my dear Edip Yüksel, you're right. In the beginning, you are was Descartes. Descartes says, I think, therefore I am wrong. Wrong. Albert Einstein. How is it possible that mathematics, a product of human thought that is independent of experience, fits so excellently the objects of physical reality? You know nothing about the objects, Albert Einstein. The Book of Light criticizes Albert Einstein. Einstein said there is no ether. And yet, Later he said, oh, we need ether. Glory to the Book of Light. It says, if there's a God, he's a great mathematician. No. Depends what you think of God. If you think that God created this insanity, he needs to be punished each day until he bleeds. Thank God there is no such God. And see, the Book of Light is the book of responsibility. "25,000 children starve to death each day, while pedophile priests become fatter and fatter. Is there a God? They outlive their karma. Perpetrator will be victim, victim will be perpetrator, until they are ready for the Book of Light." Let them suffer. That's how people learn. Listen, some people must first outlive their karma until they are ready for the Book of Light. It's that easy. It's that easy. So I cannot help anybody who says, oh, LANOO, I have a problem, I can't pay my rent because I want to be an engineer and then this and that. So that's not my problem, I can't help you. If somebody would come to me and says, I want to detach from it all, that's something else. That's something else. See? Moses parted the Red Sea with the staff. When you don't study the Book of Light, you don't know that these things happened, but millions of years ago, and that there was a fight between Atlanteans and Aryans and so forth and so on. And yes, there were beings, they had power over the elements, as Jesus had. I think I should, when I end this, I should end it with the message of Jesus. The Master Jesus has left a message to us. Let's see what I can refer to. You refer to the Bible. See, all these stories that you read here, you quote about Jesus, the two blind men followed him and everything, it's only just symbolic. It never really happened this way. It has a cosmic meaning. Read the Wahre Bedeutung der Bibel. Well, it's in German. But if you read the English Book of Light, and I will end this lecture with the words of Jesus. See, for a man like Jesus, for a master, there's no problem to have it rain or thunder or this and that. The element angels are under his power. But you cannot understand that if you don't have the correct knowledge of the Book of Light. Okay, let's see what else could I quote here? Yeah, my lungs. I was born with lung disease as a baby. 2 lungs dead and my intestines hung to my knees. Yep. So now, if all the humans and all the jinns, for those who don't know that jinns are spirits according to Quran, but there's much more to say about them, banded together in order to produce a Quran like this, they could never produce anything like it, no matter how much assistance they lent one another. That's just a claim, means by nothing. You can't produce a Book of Light, that's true. But any good writer could invent the fairy tales written in the Quran. No problem. Any good writer. You know? So don't relate to that. Or try to copy the Quran. Yes. Okay, let's see. Followers of Hadith and Sunnah. Of course, Hadith. See, look. A scripture can be abused as it happened to the Bible and also to the Quran. And those who wrote the hadiths and wanted to have power over women, they said, well, we know that there's not said, doesn't say in the Quran we should stone women, but we do it anyway. See, most people are born stupid, live stupid, and die stupid. You see that now with this alleged virus. So, what else does this wonderful person write? Numerology versus mathematics. What easier mathematic is there for you? When the universe awakes again, it comes out of the zero, comes the first being. It falls into matter. It surrounds itself egg-like with material structure and with different layers. Sorry. It's not yet my time. With different layers. And then, when the layers are prepared, in different vibration, the next beings leave the source and take their place in their according layer and surround themselves with the forms that are corresponding to their desire, trizna, the desire for life. If somebody has only desire for the heaven world, he will stuck in the heaven world, so to speak, and he will have heavenly bliss. The rest falls down more and more until the lowest hell, of course. Oh, yeah. See, the law of karma and reincarnation is in the Quran. If you read the Book of Light, you read the truth about the Quran. Then you understand what the Quran really is. So, what do we have more here? Yeah, you write the alphabetic letters have the numerical order. But you see, when you write E, D, I, P, for instance, E, you write 5. A, B, C, D, E. Yeah? Pero, I speak Spanish now. Woo, I have a ghost. But in Sanskrit, it's completely different. Yeah. Or in Greek, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, you know, we have delta virus and so forth. That means you have completely different vibrations also. E sounds different than A. A, E, U, Ri, E, I, O, Au, Kakagaganga, cha 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 janya, da 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 na, ta ta da da na, yara lava sha, sha sa ha sha. It's the Sanskrit alphabet. On that letters are built the heavens and earth. Not on E, D, I, P. On A, E, U, Ri, E, I, O, Au, These are the vibrations on which united the entire universe. So you can do nothing with these letters. They don't fit. Here it says, want to attain success and happiness. What do you mean by that? Edip, what do you mean by success and happiness? Tell me, please. Having a wife, children, living in a good life, dying, being rich, being poor, being this or that. Is that success or happiness that you promise to the people? It's maybe your success and happiness, but you will find out, and I had all the success in the world and still have, and all the money. That's not true happiness. True happiness comes when you detach from everything that you are aware of arising and passing away, which includes your own body. I don't mean suicide. You cannot kill yourself. Yourself is unborn, uncreated, anupapadaka, parentless. You cannot kill it. You can kill what you are not, but if you commit suicide, and most people commit suicide because they cannot they don't achieve what they wanted to achieve, and then they said life is worthless. But they are born with that desire again, with that Trishna, and again they are thrown onto the wheel of life and death, and the wheel of reincarnation, samsara. And you say here, want to attain success and happiness, find your numerological box. You don't need a numerological box for that. You just need to let go of everything. That's true happiness. Anything else will throw you back again on the wheel of life and death, I tell you. Birthday, adding the number of the month, day, and year in your birthday. Do you know why the circle is 360 degrees? Do you know that? Pythagoras was an initiated. He was initiated. The triangle was not invented by him, but to get that by initiation. Let me see what else I can find. Look at that. So many letters. And yet they are just parts of the true language of Sanskrit. Here, letters. The word 19, until the word 19. Okay. And the Y2K has a completely different meaning than you write here. Study the Book of Light. The Millennium Bug. Ignoring the number 19. It's a completely different. Okay. I don't agree with anything you write here about the Millennium Bug. Anyway, I respect it. Ironically, you write, soon after Rashad's departure, following the footsteps of previous generation, ignorant people started idolizing him. Within a few weeks after his departure, a gang with cult mentality fabricated a lie prophesying doomsday in May 1990. That's what Johann said to me when he dictated to me the Book of Light. Fool, be silent. Okay. I knew Khashoggi, the brother, not the one that has been killed. I was with Sean Connery on his boat in Marbella. He told me certain things. This little man from Sardinia. I come from Sardinia too. So now, what else could be good here? If God insists a tribute to Rashad Khalifa, yeah, that's correct. That's not right. This is Edip, he said. Okay, it's good to give me a tribute. Did he listen? Was it worth of Rashad, or for Rashad Khalifa to die? Was it worth the 19 had the gall to prefer the Quran, the word of God, to these graciously graphic goodies? Or, I dare to say, does it trickle your ego? Does it tickle your ego? What do you mean by, you write, I had heard of lovers of God before. What do you mean by lovers of God? Love your dog. Love your wife. Why love God? For what? Why do you want to love God? Give me an answer. I see no reason to love God. I see no reason to love the first emanation who came down in physical matter and parted matter, so for every being that came after it to have its place. It's karma. All I can do is to detach from God too. This is the teaching of the Book of Light. It explains God too as a transient appearance in transient world. And all the others are sucked in too. Terrorists take to Arizona. Well, you see, the problem is, people have a problem to become to develop from believers into knowers. Listen, and I want to say it in all respect, Edip, you are still a believer. You're almost a knower. But the Book of Light changes you completely from believer to knower. And you understand that you're not here to spread existence, but to teach every being in the universe how to disappear from this hell. That's the teaching of the Book of Light. And in order to do that, you need, of course, to have mostly, correct knowledge of the transient world, be it here or in a parallel universe. And every scientist is well advised to study the Book of Light. Peace all. Yes, somebody writes here. I was born in Istanbul, Turkey, being the son of a pilot and the Air Force officer. Religion was never a central focus. You see, this man who was killed, he will come back. You won't be waiting for him in heaven. He will come back on earth and you will meet again. You two will meet again. Believe me. Because his desire will bring him back. So, on it is 19. No, don't you see, it says here, that wouldn't be different. This isn't just starting the universe out with some precise mathematical laws that determine physics and chemistry. This is a message. Whoever makes the universe hides messages in transcendental numbers. Listen. True knowledge you will only attain by detachment. A teaching that doesn't lead you to detachment is satanic. A teaching that promises you eternal life in heaven and abuses you is satanic. That's what I want to tell you. In the name of God, the gracious and compassionate, O you hidden one. Well, if you understand God as nirvana, you can say it's hidden. Because you yourself as God, you are hidden. Whatever you are aware of, you cannot be because you see it as arising and passing away. So a true you cannot be attained by awareness. It's hidden. The truth comes, and the truth shall set you free, said Jesus, by detaching from everything that you are not. And what you are not is body, emotion, mind, soul, and even spirit. Because by spirit, most people don't understand. They see a etheric structure and think that lives forever in heaven. No way, Jose. No way. It says here the real Bible code. The real Bible code is revealed in the Book of Light. Bible, Bibla means table also. And church, see, the name church comes from tsirtse. That was a Greek word for witch. Witch. Okay, just a little suggestion. What do you want to do with code 19? 19 is God? Okay. The Book of Light teaches God is one. But God not seen as the creator of everything. As seen of the first who appears in manifested world, in matter. The Virgin Mary constantly there, impregnated by the monad, the super monad, we say, by the first spirit that disappears, the source, the reawakening universe. But it's not a creator. It's a supplier for levels to exist. That's it. Oh. Well, Rashad Khalifa was assassinated in Tucson, Arizona. Oh, well. You see here God's signature in nature is to enter Mula Prakriti, the root matter, the root element, and to split it in levels for the other beings forthcoming to manifest themselves on these levels. That's its signature in nature. So the signature can be 9, can be 12, can be 19, can be 150, it doesn't matter. There are almost endless many levels of being necessary for the beings to manifest. Mineral, plant, animal, man, angels, and so forth. Okay. What is this here? Dear Father, I greet you and kiss your hands. There's somebody in prison. If people would know what great chance they have to be in prison if others would leave them alone, and they could meditate all day long and detach from body, emotion, mind, soul, and spirit, then prison itself is heaven, or the step to heaven. I spoke in front of prisoners here in Dresden and other jails. Now then they show here where Mr. Yüksel is in front of the judge and so forth. Okay, you see, we have all numbers here, all the numbers, look, and others. Numbers appear or automatically with those who leave the source. And there's always how can I say, a limited number of beings in manifestation. And so you can number them. You can number each atom. You can number yourself. Listen, if you are 49, all 7 years or so, you have a complete new body with new cells. Nothing to do with the old one. So if you would be the body, you couldn't even remember what happened before. Think about that. Okay, let's see. Well, and the circle is closing. You say here, God is the first cause. I already noticed that or mentioned that. God is the first to reawaken out of the ever-to-be unknown and fall into material world, into root matter, into the root element, and separates the element in levels so that the others can manifest. That's all. He doesn't create the others. How could we think? You see, you would have to know about the Manasaputras, the sons of mind, who gave us mind. And to some of us, they rejected. They rebelled. And that's is a cause of the different mankind we have today. Now what it says. It says here, if you are among the few who witnessed the prophetic sign of 19 and appreciate it with your intellect and heart, then you are no more a believer, but an eyewitness, a mind witness. You are a witness to an extraordinary event. You are a witness to the ultimate truth. You are a receiver of a divine message destined for this generation, the message of rational monotheism, to which the majority of people are now deaf and blind and many are hostile. It says in the Bible you should not worship the gods. And the Book of Light teaches the gods do exist. It's your choice. It's your choice. Even the first one should not be man, should not be worshipped. A God who demands to be worshipped belongs in a psychiatric couch. Okay? So. There's so much more that could be said here. Even when you just go like this. Let's see where we end here. Sometimes I find something immediately. It says the number of verses that contain all the initials are exactly equal to the number of chapters in the Quran. Listen. In the pre-Islamic epoch, a woman could have had in the matriarchal world many men. That's what the teaching of the Book of Light is. So, if she doesn't want a man anymore, she puts him out of the tent and that's it. So then Muhammad came. I don't even want to begin to say who Muhammad was, because then you would have to study the Book of Light. But then he came, and with this coming, the first thing that they wanted to change is to have power over women, and so they changed the law and said a man can have many women. Before it was different. And they changed matriarchat to patriarchat. And now, see, the Book of Light teaches since 30 years, there are more and more intersexuals. I taught it on American TV 30 years ago, 40 years ago. The genderless. And they were laughing about me. Today you get a passport for it. Mankind will be genderless again. Androgynous, as it was before. The sexual reproduction is a passing phase. The day will come when we will look with horror to a time where mankind reproduced by sticking the forms into each other. Glory to the Book of Light.
There is a place where you can always stay. If you need me, I will be there night and day. When you're alone, all on your own, when you have nowhere to go, I will be there. I am the self, I am the self, and I'll be there if you need help. I cannot hate, I cannot judge, I'm only love. I am the self. Now you say you don't need me, you're so strong. The day shall come and you will see that you were wrong. You will fall down on your knees, and you will cry, oh help me please, and I'll be there. 'Cause I'm the self, I am the self, and I'll be there if you need help. I cannot hate, I cannot judge, I'm only love, I am the self. Like a ship on stormy sea, heading to the shore, you are drifting towards me. Open up the door. I am the self, I am the self, and I'll be there if you need help. I cannot hate, I cannot judge, I'm only love, I am the sun.